Banana. Sweet banana. Come and taste the fruit of the sun. Ngozi's clear voice rang through the crowded marketplace, carrying above the chatter of women bargaining, the clanging of metal pans, and the laughter of children darting between stalls. She balanced a wooden tray on her head, piled high with golden yellow bananas that glistened in the mid-morning sun. Her bare feet danced lightly across the dusty ground, and though her wrapper was old and patched, she walked with the grace of one who carried dignity in her soul. Banana seller, a mocking voice cut through her song. Ngozi turned, her bright eyes meeting those of Amora, one of the wealthy girls of the town. Amora stood with two other maidens, each dressed in fine Ankara wrappers, their wrists jingling with bangles, their hair shining with coconut oil. They looked like peacocks, proud and loud, with no kindness in their laughter. Look at her. Amora sneered, her voice dripping with scorn. Selling ordinary bananas as if she is selling gold. Her companions erupted in laughter. One covered her mouth dramatically. Who will ever marry such a girl? Her husband will eat banana morning, afternoon, and night. The three girls cackled, their laughter echoing through the marketplace. Traders turned their heads, shaking them slowly. But this was not the first time Ngozi had been mocked. Every market day, these girls found new ways to ridicule her poverty. Ngozi swallowed hard, adjusted the tray on her head, and smiled faintly. It is better to sell bananas with dignity than to beg with shame, she replied calmly, her voice firm but respectful. She turned away and continued her chant, refusing to let their cruelty steal her peace. Banana. Sweet banana. Ripe like the morning sun. The wealthy girls muttered insults behind her back, but Ngozi's voice rose higher, sweet and captivating. For her, the marketplace was not just a place to sell fruit. It was a battlefield and her hope. Each banana sold was food for her blind mother, Mama Ijeoma, who waited at home with a heart full of prayers. Far away from the mocking crowd, a young man stood watching. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and dressed in a simple brown wrapper. His head was covered with a plain cap that shadowed his handsome face. To everyone in the market, he looked like an ordinary traveler, blending easily into the noise and color of the day. But this was no ordinary man. This was Prince Obinna, the only son of King Odem, heir to the great throne of Umuoka. Obinna had come in secret. For weeks, the kingdom had been filled with chatter about the king's decree: the prince must choose a wife. Suitors came from near and far, their fathers boasting of wealth, their mothers praising beauty, and their maidens flaunting every charm they had. Yet Obinna's heart had remained unsettled. He did not want a wife chosen by wealth or beauty alone. He wanted a woman whose heart was kind. A woman who would stand with him through trials, not just feast on his riches. And so, disguised as a common man, he had walked into the market, hoping that fate would reveal what wealth could not buy. And there she was, the banana seller. Her laughter was soft, her words gentle, her spirit unbroken despite the jeers. He watched her from a distance, curious, his sharp eyes studying her every move. As he lingered, a small boy crept into the scene. He was no older than 6, his ribs pressing against his thin skin, his hair rough and unkempt. Hunger carved hollows into his cheeks. He stopped in front of Ngozi's tray, his eyes glued to the bananas. Slowly, his little hands stretched forward, trembling with both desire and fear. A loud voice cut through the air. "Thief!" shouted a fish seller, slapping the boy's hand away. "Don't touch what you cannot buy." Another woman raised her broom, ready to strike. "Go away, you useless child, before we flog you." The boy stumbled back, his lips trembling, his eyes filling with tears. He whispered, "Please. I am hungry." Ngozi's heart tightened. She lowered her tray at once and bent down until her eyes met the boy's. With a warm smile, she picked 2 ripe bananas and pressed them into his little hands. "Here, take them," she said softly. "Eat, my child." may your belly be full." The boy's face lit up with surprise. His eyes darted from the bananas to her face, as if he could not believe such kindness. Clutching the fruit tightly, he whispered, "Thank you, Auntie," before darting away into the crowd. The market erupted. "See her," one trader shouted, "giving away her bananas for free. As if kindness can cook soup." Another sneered, "No wonder she remains poor, always helping others. Will kindness pay her mother's debts?" The wealthy maidens burst into mocking laughter once more. "Foolish banana seller," Amora sang. "Your kindness will finish you." But Ngozi only smiled faintly, her eyes following the little boy as he disappeared into the distance. "Better to lose a little and fill a child's stomach," she whispered to herself, "than to keep much and watch another suffer." Prince Obina's heart stirred. From his hidden corner, he had seen everything. He had seen the boy's trembling hand, the cruel rejection of the crowd, and Ngozi's gentle response. He had seen her mocked, yet her spirit stood unbroken. And in that moment, he felt something he had never felt for any of the polished maidens in the palace halls: respect. "This girl," he murmured to himself, "has the heart of a queen." But he did not step forward. Not yet. He continued to watch as Ngozi sold her bananas, smiling patiently at rude customers, bowing respectfully to elders, laughing with children. The more he saw, the more he wanted to know. Who was she? Where did she live? How did she find such strength in the face of poverty? The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the busy market. Traders packed up their wares, tying bundles of vegetables, counting coins, loading baskets onto their heads. Ngozi, with fewer bananas left, began her walk home. Obine followed at a distance, careful not to be noticed. His feet matched her steps, his eyes never leaving her. She passed through narrow paths, her voice still softly singing her market song. Finally, she reached a small mud hut at the edge of the village, where an old woman sat on a low stool, her eyes clouded with blindness. "Welcome, my daughter," the woman called, her head lifting as if she could see with her heart. "How was the market today?" Ngozi dropped her tray gently and knelt before her mother. "Mama, the day was good. I sold enough for our supper, and the little child who had no food, I gave him some bananas." The blind woman smiled faintly. "Ngozi, my jewel, your father would be proud of you. Never let the hardness of this world steal your kindness." Obina's chest tightened as he listened from the shadows. He felt as if he had stepped into a sacred place, where love and struggle live side by side. Tonight, he would not reveal himself. Not yet. But one thing was certain, his heart had been touched in a way that could not be ignored. As the moon rose above the village, the prince whispered to himself, "The banana seller. I must know her more." And with that, he slipped silently into the night, following the path back to the palace, his mind already weaving plans.